The Deltaville Yachting Center has been a Virginia clean marina since 2003, and last fall, with the help of Friends of the Rappahannock, Hammer Time Marine Inc., and more than 30 volunteers, the center went one step further to reduce its impact on the environment by installing a living shoreline made up of native tidal grasses instead of a stone riprap barrier.
I'm real excited about this project, this Living Shoreline, because it's something that I have hoped that we'd be able to do between C and D dock for the last 3 or 4 years. The shoreline here has been eroding over the years that this place has been a marina. I have some aerial pictures of the marina that are from back in the late 80s, and the shoreline went much, much farther out. First Isabel and then Ernesto did some significant damage here, and we probably lost 3 or 4 feet of shoreline, and it was undercutting. It was just concerning me because I knew that it would keep getting worse. We have a lot of heron and waterfowl, ducks and mallards and things that are over here, as well as a couple little otters, and I didn't want this to be hard. I wanted this to be a soft shoreline, a natural shoreline for them to be able to come and go. Michelle and Jimmy Meredith with Hammer Time talked to us about doing a permit, and I told them what my thought was about a living shoreline, and so they put together the information on that. With the economy and things the way they are, we decided we would hold off for a little while and not spend the money that we had the permit. We paid to have the permit done, but we were waiting. Friends of the Rappahannock were someone that I had heard of and thought that I would ask them and a couple of other nonprofit groups to help with volunteer effort, which would save us some money as we did the living shoreline.
I was fortunate enough to meet with Anna Grimm here at Deltaville Yachting Center, who had a long-standing interest in fixing this shoreline. And we put our heads together and were able to figure out a way to help get this funded through a grant from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. And now Anna has thanks to the help of the folks at Hammer Time, we've got a riverbank here that's going to be stable.
With the funding and volunteers available, the Grimms went back to Jimmy and Michelle Meredith of Hammer Time Marine Inc., who designed and conducted the installation. Before planting native grasses, volunteers place, secure, and tie down a biodegradable barrier to block the waves from eroding the shoreline further. These barriers are called core logs.
The core logs, it's a hemp rope that's intertwined, and it's filled with coconut husk. And the only place they make these things is India. The core log is going to disintegrate. It's just going to rot away. By the time it rots away with all the grasses and nature itself with plants and vegetation taking over, it will go back to its natural state without any erosion going on.
With the core logs in place, sand is dumped between the core log and the shoreline. Volunteers spread out the sand and pack it under those places along the shoreline that have been undercutting. Several days later, volunteers return to plant 3 different types of grasses into the sand.
Grasses that we're using is the Spartina or turniflorals, which are the grasses that grow in the water. The next ones back are the Spartina patens, and the next ones back is the Disticula. Disticula and patens are normally grow together, and they don't like living in the water itself, so that's why we kind of plant them that way. We try to alternate the grasses as well, so Mother Nature will tell them where they want to live and where they don't want to live.
When the planting is done, the new shoreline looks like this. In a few years, however, the grasses will grow and spread, and the shoreline should look more like this one, located only a few miles away at the Deltaville Maritime Museum. This living shoreline is only a few years old, and already the core logs have disappeared and only a few stakes are left visible.
This does take a year or 2 before you finally start to see, what all the hard work you put into it, of what's happening. But the cost also is, with this day and age, the cost is helping folks make that decision as well. This is barely a quarter of the cost of what a hardened shoreline is. It's not even all about all that. It's not about instant gratification or the money. It's about taking care of the waters. They're not making any more shorelines. This is it, so we need to start taking care of what we've got.
There's such a great number of folks here in the Middle Peninsula who are really interested in doing what they can to help the bay. and Living Shorelines give them a chance to be able to do something meaningful on their property. And when they're done, number one, it'll protect their investment in their property, and number two, it's creating habitat that means a healthier bay. And so I see it as a win all the way around. It's a demonstration project. Nobody wants to trust their property to an unproven technology, and when you come here and see it work, it sells itself.
I'm hoping that not only will it take care of our shoreline in a natural way, but it'll be educational and a great way for people to learn about this alternative instead of just riprap or seawalls. So that's why I'm excited about it.
If you'd like to see the Living Shoreline for yourself, stop by the Deltaville Yachting Center, located in Deltaville on Virginia's Middle Peninsula.